What's happening, Saints fans? New Orleans has made another really good selection here in the 4th round. First was linebacker Danny Stutzman out of Oklahoma. But this one, the best cornerback available, Quincy Riley, the Louisville Cardinals. So now you got 2 Louisville Cardinals. Dare I say we're the New Orleans Cardinals now? Tyler Shuck, Quincy Riley, teammates. Now teammates again. Pretty interesting nonetheless. I think this is a good pick. I think it's a fun pick. I think it's an important pick. And we're going to look at the depth chart here in a little bit, an updated look at what the Saints group in the cornerback room looks like. And we're going to dive into all of the analysis, my full reaction, and everything you need to know about the newest member of the Black and Gold. Really quickly, though, we've told you about it every single time the Saints made a pick, but I'm going to tell you about it again. Subscribe for draft coverage. But our content does not stop at the 2025 NFL Draft. It actually goes throughout the entire calendar year. Regular season and preseason. We're going to have watch parties and content. Hopefully in the postseason too, but definitely in the offseason no matter what. This is your one-stop shop for Saints content by fans for fans. Now let's talk Quincy Riley. I believe that this is kind of a Paulson Adebo replacement. This is a player who has a lot of production and he has good ball skills. He is also a player who over the course of his 5-year collegiate career has had 15 total interceptions. He gets a lot of penalties. However, not a lot of penalties. He only has had 11 career penalties in 5 seasons, 2 this year. So it feels like a Paulson Adebo type player where he's extremely productive, extremely good in defending the pass, and he's also a guy that can be reliable and be a guy you can put on an island opposite of Kool-Aid McKinstry. Fun fact, Pro Football Focus says that he has forced 23 incompletions since 2023, which is second among cornerbacks. And I got to say, this is a player I'm excited about. We had a 3rd round grade on him, possibly later, but we got him in the 4th. He does turn 24 years old after the draft. I said 5 years. He had 6 years in college, 5 years of production. Last year, really good. 10 games played, 33 tackles, 2 interceptions, 13 pass breakups. He was 31-65 in coverage. That's a completion percentage of 47.7%, allowed under 500 yards, and he did allow 3 touchdowns. But I'm not going to sit here and say this is a player that will start day one. I think that he's a player that can compete with Isaac Yiadom. I think he's also a player that if you needed to bring him off the field, if you needed to use him, you could put him in. He's mostly an outside corner, so I don't expect Brandon Staley to use him as a slot or a nickel or compete with Alontae Taylor. But Quincy Riley on his Senior Bowl experience said, you were going against the best with every rep. He had a lot of fun at the Senior Bowl. He's played a lot of zone and match coverage at Louisville, and that is a big part of Brandon Staley's scheme, which is nice to know. So he will be familiar, and it's not going to be a scheme that's totally unheard of for him. Quincy Riley says that Tyler Shuck, fun fact, brings a lot of swag to the team, which is interesting to say the least. And then I also will say with Quincy Riley, I think he's a player that can be effective pretty early into his NFL career. He just had 281 special team snaps, and he had 5 penalties and 2 tackles on those special team snaps. So, that is something to consider. That's something to think about. He did miss he missed 2 full games due to a high ankle sprain, and he missed 7 games at Middle Tennessee State with a labrum and hernia issues. He spent some time at Middle Tennessee State. He spent some time at Louisville, and now he's going to spend some time in the Big Easy. So grade the pick for me, Saints fans. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you think? A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know in the comments section. I want to just show you guys really quick the updated picks for what New Orleans has done so far, and then after that, let's go to the depth chart to take a look at what things look at now in the cornerback room. Kelvin Banks was the 9th overall pick. I love that selection. Tyler Shuck, questionable, but the more time I give it, the more I'm starting to think maybe it makes some sense. Vernon Broughton, a really good run stopper. The Saints were just despicable, absolutely abysmal against the run last year. They ranked 30th in yards per carry yards per rush and rushing yards per game. Jonas Sanker, a big hit machine, and Danny Stutzman, a tackling machine. Quincy Riley, another good player. He was the best quarterback available when the Saints were making their pick at 131. So I think that this is a good player. He's a ball-hawking corner. And I think that with New Orleans, the 5'10", 194-pound player has a role. I truly do believe he has a role. We're going to tell you guys about GameTime, and after that, I want to go to the depth chart to just kind of take a look at that updated squad. Really quickly, though, GameTime is the best ticketing app in the whole wide world. And why do I continue to tell you about them? Well, it's because I believe that in the bottom of my heart. Major League Baseball is in full swing, so don't miss out on any big moments on the diamond with the GameTime app. And my favorite part about the GameTime app is that they specialize in last-minute deals. You can save up to 60% when buying last-minute tickets for concerts, comedy shows, theater, sporting events, or any sort of live event that you're interested in. You also should check out the Super Deals function. These tickets are the best value for events, so GameTime helps you know that you're maximizing your savings and giving yourself the best game viewing experience. All-in pricing, the seat views, the lowest price guarantee, and the GameTime ticket coverage make this app worth it. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. And I can tell you right now, I personally am a little bit of a guy who has issues with attention to detail. And when I was ordering tickets to go see one of my favorite country artists, Co Wetzel, I had a little bit of issues, but GameTime was there to make the issues go away. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but once again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS to get $20 off your first purchase. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Shout out to GameTime. All that information is in the comments and description of this video. Now with Quincy Riley, we've talked about a lot of good, but let's talk about some of the negatives there. He was very inconsistent as a run defender over the course of his career, so I don't expect him to have a ton of impact there. Some, sure, but not a ton. He's not that big and he's not that strong. Tom Downey, our draft expert, said he would try him as a nickel, but he's got to be a better run defender. That's why he stayed on the outside more so. And so when you look at the updated cornerback room in New Orleans, you'll have Kool-Aid McKinstry and Alontae Taylor and Isaac Yiadom possibly be your starters, but don't sleep on Rico Payton and last chance legend Rajon Wright. Ugo Amadi was also brought back as a nickel corner, and Quincy Riley is the most recent pick by the New Orleans Saints. Again, I want to see Quincy Riley take an opportunity and run with it. I want to see him potentially get some really good reps in the preseason. I want to see him absolutely turn it up, and I want to see this defense get some juice. Brandon Staley, I'll give credit where it's due. I like the draft that he's put together for the Saints defense. I also think that him as a coach will bring a more modern and updated scheme, and I also think that he'll be a player that can really add some pop and some juice to the defense, some ball hawking ability, maybe force some turnovers. And with New Orleans in that department, against the pass, the interceptions thrown percentage was 2.37. That was 13th in the league. So the Saints definitely could get better in that department. It could be worse, but it certainly could be better. I personally like this pick. I'm going to give it an A, the best cornerback available. But what's your one-word reaction? I'm going to say solid. It's a solid pick. What's your one-word reaction? Let me know how you're feeling. And Who Dat Nation, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. I appreciate y'all for tuning into all the draft coverage we provided so far. We got more coming your way. And, of course, undrafted free agents on Sunday. So be sure to subscribe. Y'all stay golden. And we'll see you later.